it's time to talk about one of the most passionate placements in astrology. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is a community for you. Today we're talking all about having Venus in Aries, and what this means is at the exact time you were born, the planet Venus was moving through the zodiac constellation of Aries. This is not a video about having sun sign in Aries, so be sure you don't make that mistake. But we'll start off the video by talking about an introduction to Venus in astrology if you're not quite sure what the energy of Venus even entails in astrology. Then we'll go on to talk about the general traits of somebody with this placement, and we'll finish the video with a couple empowering tips for you if you have Venus in Aries, or even if you know somebody who does. This may help you better know how to support them in life. So be sure you stay tuned for that. Now let's start the video with an introduction to the planet Venus in astrology. Venus is the planet of love, creativity / creation, and the material world. Venus actually rules over two zodiac signs, both Taurus and Libra. Taurus is an earth sign and Libra is an air sign. Venus's location on your birth chart will give you more specific insight into what you're drawn towards in the world and what's also drawn towards you. You can think of, quote, what I like and what I attract to remember what Venus means in your chart. In the words of Christopher Renstrom from the Cosmic Calendar, Venus can be summarized into being your astrological perfume. I thought that was an amazing little analogy. Venus is heavily associated with fertility, but this doesn't simply refer to biological fertility. This actually refers more to what we create in the physical world, from art to wealth, etc. So think manifestation. Venus's placement will say a lot about what you might create in this life, what's important to you to create, and what you're aesthetically and romantically drawn to. But remember, pay attention to whether Venus was retrograde at the time you were born, and the way that you can identify that is when you pull up your natal chart, it should show you a little RX, which is the retrograde symbol, next to whichever planets were retrograde in your chart at the time you were born. And I would try a few different sites just to make sure that you don't see that little retrograde, because not every site provides it. But this basically means that a lot of the traits that I talk about, it may manifest as the opposite for you when it's retrograde. This isn't always true. Retrograde can channel itself as many different things, but typically, say your Venus placement is supposed to make you really value someone who's nurturing and caring. Well, if it was retrograde, then maybe you struggle to find somebody who's nurturing and caring, and you end up in a lot of bad relationships. So it could channel itself many different ways, but it is something to pay attention to in your chart and do research on as well. Now for the general traits of somebody who has Venus in Aries. First and foremost, it's important to note that Aries is the cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars and symbolized by the ram. Number one, they tend to act on impulse and passion, especially when it comes to both material matters and their love life. If you didn't already know, Mars is known for being the energetic planet that governs assertion, action, and passion, also being traditionally represented by the god of war, making Aries individuals carry these qualities as well, since this is their planetary ruler. Since we're discussing Venus, planet of romance, attraction, and finance, these assertive, impulsive tendencies are most prevalent when it comes to how they handle relationships and their personal finances. They channel a lot of the energetic, competitive spirit that is associated with Mars and Aries into their own lives, making them the type of person that enjoys the pursuit of something. When I think of one word when it comes to Venus and Aries, I think of pursuit. Aries is known as a playful yet competitive sign. So with Aries Venus, these individuals often love a bit of playful competition, especially in their love lives. They tend to feel the most motivated and enticed by someone or something when it is more of a challenge for them. They also enjoy giving people pursuing them a bit of a challenge as well. But one thing that keeps them locked onto their pursuit of anything is their passion. This would be the second word that comes to mind when I think of Venus and Aries. So pursuit and passion. Venus and Aries is summed up into two words. Anytime we see a combination of Venusian and Martian energy, there is intense passion present. You have the planet Mars, which revolves a lot around sexual desire and those sexual instincts. And then you have planet Venus, which is very much romantic and passionate in its own way. You mix the two and it's just intense in that regard. So the fact that these two planetary energies combine in a Venus and Aries person makes them full of this intensity. And this is definitely what can cause them to have a lack of self-control in that regard, often wanting to see results or progress from their pursuit immediately. Number 2, this individual isn't usually afraid to take the initiative, especially when it comes to brand new ventures or experiences. Aries is a cardinal sign, meaning they tend to carry a natural leadership quality and are often the person most likely to take action on something first. With Venus being in Aries, not only do these individuals usually enjoy the pursuit or challenge of something, but they are also most likely to begin a new pursuit towards something. As a cardinal Venus sign, they probably dislike stagnation more than most, preferring the excitement of fresh beginnings and all the possibilities of new beginnings. Whether it's a person, experience, career, etc., they're likely to be a self-starter that propels themselves forward despite what other people say or think about it. This can heavily channel itself in their fashion sense and just their general aura. So a great celebrity example of Venus in Aries is Lady Gaga, who definitely has a lot of that self-starter energy, and she does not mind expressing herself as she pleases.
I want them to free themselves, and I want them to be proud of who they are, and I want them to celebrate all the things they don't like about themselves the way that I did. I guess what I'm trying to say is I want to liberate them. I want to free them of their fears and make them feel that they can create their own space in the world.
And with that being said, they definitely prefer to live life independently on their own terms, as most cardinal signs do, and are probably the type that often have to learn for themselves rather than listening to someone's advice. Number 3, it's likely that this person has quite a lot of natural energy, giving them an exceptional work ethic, a magnetic liveliness, and an ability to take on more than most people can. Although the influence of Mars and the cardinal quality also contribute heavily to this trait, the fact that we are dealing with a fire Venus is the cherry on top. Fire signs are widely known for having a lot of energy and passion in everything that they do, making them naturally active in some way. With this fire Venus sign, we can usually see this being channeled most through their work ethic, being the type of person who can probably pull all-nighters and handle an inconsistent, chaotic schedule if need be. Coupling this energy with Mars and being a cardinal sign makes this person very reliable in that sense too, because they naturally give their all and have the capacity to give their all in every area of life, sometimes leading them to keep things afloat all by themselves, whether that be in personal relationships or in their career. Being the naturally lively character that they can be, they give off the vibe oftentimes that they're just enjoying life and having fun and everything is no problem and they can handle it, even if they are actually pretty stressed out deep down. But this isn't to say that they're completely faking it. They do often enjoy feeling like they're being reliable, or they're seen as reliable by others, or feeling like they're leading others in some way, or even something as little as making other people laugh or entertaining them in some way. Usually Venus in Aries does enjoy that, because again, this does come from the fiery side of them, but this also stems from their cardinal energy. Cardinal signs are oftentimes the ones who are going to lead a group and take care of a group. And so they do have kind of that innate sense of responsibility when it comes to other people or it comes to the environment that they're in. And they usually do have the ability to handle that responsibility because they have such an optimistic and energetic attitude towards life. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell because it lets me know that you're not only enjoying the video, but you want future videos just like this one from me. And leave a comment down below if you're Venus in Aries, know somebody who is, or just your Venus sign in general. I love to know who's watching. You can also head over to my Patreon and see the monthly, weekly astrology content that I release, from astrology horoscopes to monthly Q&A videos, etc. A lot more fun stuff, so be sure to check that out. Number 4, Most Aries Venus individuals aren't afraid to, quote, wing it, unquote, and they have an underlying confidence that they can and will make it happen no matter what. Again, the symbol for Aries is the ram, meant to represent their courageous, powerful, forceful nature. The energy of the ram gives Aries Venus a natural boldness, making them able to go through life without thinking too much about the things that they do, or even if there are other placements causing them to overthink, they'll probably still go for it, knowing that it will work out somehow, some way. This is undeniably one of the most admirable qualities about someone with Venus in Aries, is that ability to make move after move in life. Even if it's a risky move, even if it's one that a lot of people are afraid to make, they have that just confidence that it's gonna work out. Things for them are gonna work out, and they don't tend to really self-doubt. And if they do have any self-doubt going on, they don't tend to harbor it, because this Venus in Aries is just such a fiery placement to have. It's very, how do I put it? It's like a self-sustaining fire that is always warm. Even if it dwindles a little bit, it's always warm, and it can reignite itself. And then it might dwindle, but then it reignites itself. This is very much how I envision Venus in Aries in my mind. They have that resilience of the ram, that persistence of the ram channeled into Venus in Aries, where they do get stressed, they may get worried at times, but they, for some reason, just think I'll make it work. I'll make it work. And this can also make them very adjustable and adaptable to all the different obstacles that life offers them, that life puts in front of them, which is amazing. It's an incredible quality. But this resilience and persistence and optimism also stems from the fact that they definitely place higher value on the experiences that they have in life rather than the material things that they obtain. So they would much rather have the experiences that come with life. Even if they have to spend their last penny on it, they're like, no worries, I'll make that money back. But I would much rather take the opportunity to have this one in a lifetime experience rather than save that money for something later on. This is very much the way that a Venus in Aries lives their lives. Now let's talk about a couple empowering tips for somebody who has Venus in Aries. Number 1, their bold, impulsive, quick-moving nature can become their downfall if they don't practice some sort of balance. Whether we are referring to money or to relationships, one thing is true for this placement. They can quickly and recklessly burn their way through everything due to their desire for new pursuits and/or their desire for new things all of the time. This need for instant gratification and progress can lead them to live a very volatile life if they aren't careful. Therefore, it's very important for somebody with this placement to practice their ability to stick something out for the long term. And really what they need to practice in order to do that is their patience and their self-control. For example, say that you're a Venus in Aries and you see something that you did not plan to buy, but there's a great sale going on and you're excited by it because you don't have it, or it's a new version of something that you have. It's a once in a lifetime sale, and you really want that thing, whatever it is. To practice self-control and patience and to stop getting in the habit of acting on those impulsive behaviors, step away from that item. Step away, let yourself know that it's not your last chance to get it. It's still gonna be there, but step away from it and give yourself at least 2 to 3 days before deciding to actually purchase that thing, that item, whatever it is. And you can channel this practice into everything. Say that you're somebody that tends to jump from person to person to person. Channel this same type of energy, this control practice, this self-control practice into anything in life where you notice that you have this impulsive tendency and this lack of control. Because more than likely that really strong, overwhelming feeling that you had in that moment is not going to last. It is going to subside most of the time, and therefore you are practicing self-control, and it's going to become easier with time. Second, Venus and Aries individuals should regularly practice acts of self-love. Like I mentioned before, this is the type of placement that can cause this person to take on a lot more than they should, whether it's for themselves or for the sake of other people. Although this is a very strong placement with a lot of energy, everyone has their limits, and if they choose to neglect rest and self-nourishment, they'll surely come crashing down at some point. To avoid this, make sure you make time every week or maybe even every day, whatever you have the time for, to do things that are just for you. Do things that make you feel good, that you enjoy, just for fun or just purely for self-nourishment. This way you can be sure to regularly replenish your inner reserves of fiery, passionate energy, because doing that and taking the time to do that will only make you that much more of a powerful force to be reckoned with in the world. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so I know that you want future videos like this one. And be sure to comment down below if you're Venus and Aries, and you can also head over to my Patreon because again, I release weekly astrological horoscopes, I release monthly astrology calendars, and so much more. You can also hop over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community where we talk more about using astrology and spirituality for self-transformation. But for a more personal side of my journey, you can head to my Instagram at Marisa LaBlue, and until I see you in the next video, you can watch these videos that will help you so much more on your astrological and spiritual journey. So until I see you next time, thank you so much again for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios!